Thanks for listening to the Welka Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Welka. Today we have a virtual guest with us, someone who I have seen grow and flourish for the last 31 years, my little brother, Derek Gauci. Derek, thank you for being on our show today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate you having me here, actually, sis. A little bit about myself. Best fact is I'm Tiffany Welka's brother. That's what I usually start with the conversations. I've got a family. Lauren Gauci is my wife. She's incredible. Keeps me able to do most of the things I'm doing. And my two amazing children, Leonardo and Chloe. Those people are my basic story right now. What completes me?
That's the best story. So Derek is the CEO and owner of a wedding production and services company called Falcon Film Studios in Plymouth, Michigan. Derek, can you tell our listeners how you discerned your calling to help couples create and capture their weddings?
Yeah, actually, it kind of comes from, I guess, three backgrounds. Our dad was a financial advisor and was really, really good with planning things, futures. And I think that's, maybe where you got some of your inspiration to pursue, maybe a little bit of what you do. Also, your mother is a wedding florist, one of the very best we've ever seen. And our grandmother was also a wedding coordinator. So it kind of like found myself at weddings quite often. It was like a normal thing happening at our household, and I knew how important it was. But more so, I was able to create, packages that were able to satisfy clients both on the product end, they're getting the pictures and videos that they like, but at the same time, we're finding prices that can really, help couples by combining all these services. Couples were able to find themselves able to, pursue more services for their wedding than they may have before. So the financial planning of the weddings kind of mixed with the beauty of the weddings for my mom and the financial end for my dad. So maybe that's to how we got to where we are. Plus, I just love taking photos, so found my end in it.
Yeah, you got mom's creative gene in our family, that's for sure.
And I find pops to be creative sometimes too,
How so?
I don't know. Like back in the day, he would we would listen to classical music in his car. He would listen to classical music and tell me to close my eyes and picture our cartoon. And they coming up with stories. And that's my very early stages of writing film. So there you go.
Oh, that's awesome. Your success and credibility has shown time and time again because you've been voted best wedding photographer in Our magazine, featured on Fox News and WXYZ. You were in the Not Best Weddings and won a Wedding Wire Couples Choice Award for your talent. Can you tell us what services Falcon Film Studios provides and how our listeners can find you?
Yeah. So a lot of those places that we've gotten the awards from our clients are really kind, and they leave us reviews on The Knot and Wedding Wire. You can find us easily on Google, Facebook, Instagram. Falcon Film Studios is the name basically everywhere. But we offer photo, video, DJ, and photo booth services. And when you go with a company that offers them all, we also have obviously incentives for combining them. So it makes it a good deal. We ask everybody to just take their time, look at our work, and make sure they like it.
They will like it for sure.
Okay. The reviews speak volumes because it does tell you how satisfied past clients either were or weren't. So it's always a good place to start. But then, we give clients a really good opportunity to dive into all of our most recent deliveries. We actually give people access to the majority of our full galleries. So
that comes in handy when people are looking for somebody to put together all of their wedding memories. Seeing somebody else's wedding memories could really help, make sure that that's their style and that's what they're looking for.
Yep. Yep. Everybody's, pretty unique, especially in this day and time with the crisis that we're in. People are finding really creative ways to pursue their already intended plans. So it's nice finding a company that you know is going to satisfy you, but also be willing to help you find inspiration to think differently.
Definitely. So being on the marriage and family life team at Our Lady of Good Counsel Parish in Plymouth, Michigan, you already know this, but I meet with couples who are engaged and preparing for marriage, and we talk about their finances together. Something that I always bring up is a wedding spending plan. Can you give our listeners some ideas of what to realistically expect financially when it comes to planning for their photography, videography, DJ lighting, and photo booth?
Yeah, so the Knot is a really, really good place to start within articles and trying to find where price actually correlates to your region. So that's the biggest difference, is where you're going to get married. Every single region has its own advertising category for vendors like us, because specifically weddings in that region might cost more or less. So when we were originally looking to base our prices, I actually went on Google and I typed in what's the average cost of a wedding photographer in Michigan. And that's actually something you can do, and places like the Knot actually do research. They get feedback from a bunch of companies like myself, and they provide that information so that you can use that to kind of compare companies in the region. We based our prices specifically off of what the average was in our region, but we just tried to offer a little bit more.
That's great. When it comes to planning a wedding, the most important part of the day is the sacrament itself. I think all weddings are beautiful, of course, but Catholic weddings are symbolic, full of rituals and traditions that are really rich in history. The high point of the wedding, in my opinion, is the liturgy, of course, where the bride and the groom become husband and wife in the lifelong covenant of marriage with our Lord as the center of their life, professed in front of family members and friends. I know that thoughtful, prayerful planning is key. Can you give our listeners some tips on how to create a beautiful wedding ceremony?
Yeah, definitely. Our Lady of Good Counsel, specifically, they focus on the ceremony itself almost more than any other parish that we've seen. They give a rundown to the photographers and videographers, specifically allowing us or disallowing us to stand in certain places. And what it does is it allows for a ceremony that's not intruded by anybody, which leaves plenty of room for just the important part, like the blessings, and to really feel God's presence within there. So definite piece of advice for Our Lady of Good Counsel ceremony is go with a crew that knows the spot, because we're going to have to stand in one specific location for Our Lady of Good Counsel. So having the right lenses and the proper experience there is definitely going to make a big difference on an Our Lady of Good Counsel gallery, more so than any other church or parish, because it's so big, it's so beautiful. You want to capture it in the right way. And they really, really respect the sacrament and the ceremony. So prepare for that with your photography and videography end. For me, my biggest tip for anybody, if you're going to get married and you want to make it pretty, is lights and flowers. I think uplighting is amazing. I think flowers are amazing. They smell good and they look great. The bigger, the better.
That's true. With the recent pandemic, I know many couples have had to make adjustments to their wedding plans. Can you give us some insight as to what you've been seeing in the industry in regards to ceremonies and receptions?
Yeah, I've seen, honestly, one of the most beautiful things happen. Of course, with all the other craziness, we're dealing with, on some days, 4 to 5 cancellations or postponements. And it's easy to feel that negative vibe around the office here. But at the same time, we just got back in the field and we're able to see people pursuing their ceremonies. And it's honestly some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Last weekend, we got to experience 3. They are focusing on what matters most right now, and that's each other, and that's getting married. And some of these couples, you honestly cannot stop them from achieving that goal. And that shines right through. It shines through in the photos. And I honestly do not think these couples could have had a better time. They're with their closest friends and family. It's amazing.
That's really nice. Now, you've recently celebrated a wedding anniversary.
Yes. Yep.
Can you share how you and your wife and family keep God as the center of your lives?
Sure. So Lauren and I just celebrated our 6th wedding anniversary. We just try to, although we fail at it quite often, we try to keep it easy on each other. We just try to remember that we're all, her and I knew right from the get-go that we're very clumsy and make a lot of mistakes. So it's a little bit easy for us to comprehend. But everybody's going to, and you need to be just easy on your partner and allow them to, explore life still.
That's true. Committing our lives and our families to Jesus Christ is not always easy. But what I found is that if we ask him to be the center of our marriages and our families, he shows up. Other than praying and asking for God to be with these new couples on their big day, how do you think couples can put the focus on the Lord within their wedding ceremonies?
Just really focusing on the prayers within the ceremonies that speak to you. A lot of couples tend to blow off that portion. I'm not going to lie to the fact that Lauren and I are not, we aren't as strict on ourselves as maybe we should be in our spirituality, making ourselves go to church every single week and doing things of that nature. However, we do stay really spiritually strong, and we think things through. And when we were thinking of our prayers that we wanted to use for our ceremony, we really did choose things that spoke to us and meant things to us. And they still stick with us, and we can still remember those prayers. And I think that to remember to focus on those little moments is really important. Along with who's your photographer, who's your videographer, remember which prayers are you choosing your entire family to say for you that day.
Yeah, you're right. I know it was pretty time consuming to find what prayers we wanted for our ceremony, but I'm really glad we chose the ones that we did, because even now we still reflect back on the readings that we chose and the music that we chose, and you're probably the same way.
Yeah, I had an amazing pianist. I have his name written down. I should be ready to just pull it up like this. But yeah, we remember, those little details. So definitely don't blow those off. Take time to remember and focus on the little details. Also, we had a counseling couple. We went to their house and they gave us some really good advice. And the whole time, we thought they couldn't relate to us, so we were half paying attention. They had it all really good, and they couldn't relate to our problems, is what we thought. Only to find out at the end of the conversation that they had the exact same problems and had only throughout all these years worked through them. That was really powerful too. So definitely focus on don't blow any off the classes or the counseling that comes. That's the most important part.
Yeah, I know we always feel like we feel like we know everything already. We've been together for this long. We feel like we know each other and know everything about each other, but there are always things that come up. So having a mentor couple to be able to walk you through those challenges as you go through your marriage is really important.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. And, through the church, you're able to meet couples that aren't related to you. People that, you're almost more comfortable to confide in some ways, because, whatever, you might not even get, there's a chance you might never see, they're almost like a stranger in a way, like somebody who's just willing to have you open and express yourself to them. It's nice.
Yeah, that is really nice. Well, Derek, thank you so much for being here with us today, telling us about your business, your family life. We really appreciate it. We hope to have you back again.
Yeah, I really appreciate any opportunity to be here on your show. You offer some really, really incredible advice to a lot of people. And more so, I think that the world needs to appreciate and respect you because you are a strong female in an occupation where
Wow.
that's not always so present. So, like, I definitely appreciate you, as I'm sure a lot of people do. I love you so very much. Thank you for having me on the show. I will be here anytime.
Thank you. I love you too. And thanks for listening to the Welka Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Welka. God bless you and God bless your families.